Folks, remember you can find us at dramaticcinematic.com, and of course you can also listen to the show on Stitcher, look us up on iTunes, or you can also find us on Facebook, Dramatic Cinematic. Don't forget to look us up on Twitter at TC Podcast Crew. Now on to the show. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to this little thing I like to call the Dramatic Cinematic Show. I am your host, Mugumbo, and with me tonight, like always, you fiends, we've got what you need. We got what you're looking for. We got Mr. David Gibson.
I am still here, guys.
I'm not even going to make that quote there. Anyways, anyway. Also with us tonight, folks, the mayor of Podcastville himself. He has been on the show. He's actually become a regular. He's almost like Conan O'Brien, the guy that's always with Conan O'Brien. That guy,
Andy Richter.
Yeah, him. No. He's
trying to get to third mic.
You're more like a Ed McMahon. Ha ha ha.
Heyo.
You know what you are? You are the Keith Hughes. Keith Hughes is the Ed McMahon of our Dramatic Cinematic. Except for instead of bringing you $1 million prize, he gives you a nut shot, possibly, maybe. No, really, Keith, you have nothing to follow that up with.
No. I'm just preparing to see who I give the first nut shot to. So
folks, we would have been on just a little earlier tonight, but it took Keith a little while to get going. You know, like his bones just ain't moving like they used to. So finally, we got him warmed up. Got a couple cups of coffee in him. You just recorded your show. What's the name of your show, Keith?
Movie, Cigar, and a Brew.
And you literally jumped right out of there. So like your lungs are hurting from the cigar. You're a little tipsy from the brew, and I've been talking about a movie for 2 hours already.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, what is Bill Clinton's favorite cigar?
The Monica Lewinsky. It's infused with Monica Lewinsky.
It's got a little
tanginess to it.
Fishy taste. A little off.
A little tang to it.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit of South Carolina? Anyways, I'm not even going to go any further there. So, folks, we have come here tonight to do this little thing. We basically gather here. We pick a movie, a film, and this week actually was a Manifesto special. Mr. David Gibson here picked Maniac, and this is something we discussed for a while, correct?
Oh, yeah. We've been talking about doing this movie for a month or so.
Well, before that was actually because I had originally acquired this movie from my local video store way back when were in our mid-20s of Dramatic Cinematic. And we just never got around to it, right? And
yeah.
cute. You like it rough?
What do you do exactly?
I take pictures of mannequins. I try to bring them to life.
Would you like to see my work? I think you're incredibly talented.
The mages have found the last true romantic.
I don't know about all that.
Stop staring. You're missing a movie.
Please don't scream. You're so beautiful.
Wow, it's my bad. I should have looked into it. It's the Maniac, folks. It's got a little specialness to it, and this isn't the 1980 version, the Tom Savini, or what year was the original?
1980. And this is one that came out last year with good old Frodo.
Frodo Baggins himself. Well, folks, that's a Lord of the Rings reference. Being horror fiends like you are, you might not be as familiar with the movie that has the most walking ever put into a series. But Frodo here, it's hard for me to see him as anything else. And it's funny, as I was doing my research, other people associated him with the guy that was on Willard, which is the dude in the dog costume, the furry costume thing.
Yes. But here's the good thing: you don't actually have to see him that much. So
No,
you don't really have. You don't have to really associate him with much of anything in this movie, other than it's interesting for him to be in this role where he's now almost never on screen. You just hear his breathing and see him do some awful things.
And it's do you think that's because he was expensive? Like, oh, well, we can film. All right, we got him for 3 days, guys. What's the best way we can spend this? Probably $100,000. I'm not even sure. Like, did anybody get any total cost of this film?
It was very low.
$6 million.
So
it wasn't that much.
Oh gosh, I don't even know how. I couldn't even eat lunch on that. What
$6 million.
I know.
Well, in modern times.
You could have made 100 bloody Bible camps there.
It would have been, geez. You could really explore a lot of things with 100 bloody Bible camps, couldn't you? There's a lot of exploration to be had there.
Well, Elijah Wood is a huge horror buff from what I've read about him, and he really liked the original movie and hopped on this. You remember, he played a really sick character in Sin City.
Yeah, right. And somebody actually, Todd Dudson himself, the artist. He does DVD covers. He did the They Live cover, the special edition, the new Blu-ray re-release of They Live. He did that. He also did the Dear God No. Dave, you should be familiar with that one.
Yep. That's an awesome poster.
Todd Dudson did. Excuse me.
He did that one. He did Madison County.
It's Tom.
He did another one of my favorite Father's Day.
His name is Tom Dude Designs Hodge, and you can find him on Facebook. Tom Dude Designs. I run it all together on my. It became Todd to me, but don't be a Todd. No, he's a big film buff too, and he actually left some comments about this film. Funny you said that, and he said that the most awesome thing about this was kudos for Baggins taking on this role, which I also agree with. Kind of like Harry Potter did. What's his name? The Harry Potter himself,
Danny Radcliffe.
Yeah, he did the which is really pretty good. What was the horror movie he did right after?
That The Woman in Black?
Yes, The Woman in Black. I actually thought, Keith Hughes, didn't you do a review on that? Did you not?
What?
Woman in Black, the Danny Radcliffe's Harry Potter's.
I'm not. We've not done that one. No.
Wow,
I'm not even familiar with that one.
Possibly, we might have to do that. And that's kind of what this reminded me of, except for Harry Potter was on screen a whole lot more than Elijah was. But
well, I'm about to piss off a bunch of film buffs, but I am one, so I can do that.
Oh, I know.
This movie reminds me of Taxi Driver, and I actually put it in the same league.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's saying a lot.
Yeah, and I think 20 years from now, this movie is going to be seen as a classic.
It's really impressive. I was kind of blown away by it. I don't normally like. I guess I wouldn't. This wasn't a found footage, nor was it shaky cam. But the first,
it's all first person, which is
being in a first person.
The only other movie I've ever seen that did a whole film as first person was Enter the Void. If you've ever seen that's an awesome film. But that's the
I'm
only
writing
film
that
I've
one
seen.
down. Did you like that? You like that film? I'm writing it down.
Yeah, Enter the Void it's basically a 2-hour, 3-hour drug trip.
Is that the one that's got Keanu Reeves and it starts going into the animation and stuff during it when they're all fucked
No,
up?
that's Cool World.
Oh, no, that's a
No, that was Brad Pitt. I don't know what movie you're
that was
talking
Who
about.
Framed Roger Rabbit.
This
goodness.
movie, it's the point of view is done beautifully. It's not just a gimmick. It makes this movie.
It really does.
I agree with you.
Very artistically done, very well done, and I felt like it really added to the creep factor. I wasn't
Well, it doesn't
terrified.
flinch.
I
It
was
doesn't
just
flinch the
kind
whole
of kind of weirded out because this. I mean, he kind of was able to get some chicks. Like he had some sort of magnetic quality. They're like, it's the guy from Lord and the Rings.
It's Wilford.
Right. Well, I don't know if that would necessarily hook you up, but
With that and his,
Oh, it would.
if you
Yeah,
look at-
dogs.
oh yeah,
It's the way to a woman's heart.
Elijah Wood's a kind of strange looking dude anyway, and he's walking around his hands all cut up, and chicks are digging him.
you know what? And for me, he's a doppelganger for Tobey Maguire. Like Spider-Man and Frodo like are almost interchangeable to me, or former Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man.
They kind
really
of
call him the
pull
original.
from that same sort of. Yeah, I can believe this guy's a loser. category,
yeah,
right?
which is just apparently totally endearing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Hollywood wants you to believe that,
Right.
but I don't know.
Well, I always love the movies that will take like the how you have like the dumpy girl that's all like got the glasses and her hair's all librarianed up and with the sweater and blah blah blah. But like you immediately know like, oh yeah, she's gonna get hot. like it's you immediately know that yeah, that's like she's hot. Where we're like with these guys, nah, they're not. You're not gonna put a suit on him and it knock you out.
Well, and folks, this is a remake of, to me, one of the best slashers ever made. I was actually really pissed off when they were remaking this movie. Kind of how I felt about Evil Dead, but they knocked it out of the park. But neither of my co-hosts have seen the original. If you can get your hands on it, 1980s Maniac it was groundbreaking. It has Tom Savini. I think that is actually pre Friday the 13th.
All practical effects, which
all practical
I would
effects.
Think, was there anything that you thought in this version that was not practical effects?
Well, the knife through the throat that looked digitized to me. The first kill.
Maybe. And to be honest with you, I didn't look that hard at it. Usually, stuff like that kind of jumps out and grabs me. It's like the entire series of the HBO or whatever Cinemax Spartacus thing. It was it was so obvious that it was all fake, but which was really kind of unsettling. Whereas this didn't feel, and maybe because it was done in moderation. I'm not sure. I guess that's one fact. That was one fact I didn't.
Were well done.
Yeah, they were, and I guess I didn't look into it to find out if there was much chicanery going on there.
Now, me and Magumbo was also talking about a lot of French movies, and this is pretty much a French movie, Magumbo.
I would say so.
Alexandre, I guess he pronounces Age. His name's everywhere, but he did High Tension, which is an awesome movie. He did the remake for Hills Have Eyes. He directed both of those films. He wrote the screenplay for this. And one of his buddies who was actually in High Tension, Frank Coffin, is the director of the film.
Yeah, exactly. And he also did P2, the parking garage thriller, and which was kind of interesting. 2007. I wouldn't own it, but like it's one of those things. If I saw it on Netflix, I'd probably watch it once, or at least watch it when I was going to sleep, or especially if it was on one of my freaking stupid pay movie channels that suck. I'd definitely probably watch it more. I'd probably watch it over and over again just as background.
But you get that? Don't you get kind of some seeing the French films you've seen? Ones that we've done together and other ones. You kind of get that whole French darkness to this movie.
It is, and especially the ones we watched here recently. The Inside was awesome. That was one was from a while ago, and the other one was Martyr, right? Yeah, holy shit. They have an eye for the awful and to make you feel awful. I mean, Keith, have you watched any French horror? Have you seen any French horror? Like it's like their language is so pretty. Oh my God, he just cut her head off.
No, I think we talked about this the other night when we were talking. I do enjoy some of my favorite movies are movies with subtitles. So, and sometimes that's because like, and I said this before, and I didn't get quite the reaction from you, Louis, that maybe you didn't like it. But for me, Pan's Labyrinth was one that I liked, but it's also because, it's a Spanish a movie, and there was such a different level of brutality in the way that they showed things. And even though it was fanciful and they did some stuff with it, it was just different. And that different element that was European or whatever, and I think that's where you're getting to with the French thing, kind of added to the fact that, like, yeah, it's creepy on a different level, and it made it more interesting to me. Well,
I think they go all out visually because they know there's going to be an American crowd for these type of movies. So I think they put a lot more visually into the movie as well to draw people who aren't normally into reading subtitles.
Well, Frankenstein's Army is a perfect example. It's like just like holy shit! Like I just don't expect that. And even and they have to be careful in Europe. Some countries more than others, but even in the UK, they will ban a movie. They'll flat ban it, or they'll have an actual have to cut it to make it. And they've got all sorts of bizarre rules, which almost makes your movie more famous. And a lot of these foreign movies are being made for American audiences. There's no question. I mean, especially when like Frankenstein's Army was made in English intentionally. They're really
you see, we're bringing these directors over here now, like Alexander Aja and Japanese. Miyake is going to be doing English speaking films, and they're redoing Old Boy, and they're bringing all these international directors to America because they're just amazing, and they're getting such a cult following.
Well, because we have the access to it.
Yeah.
We didn't before.
So I'm kind of thinking that a couple of these movies that you guys have suggested to me have really broadened some of the things that I would have otherwise watched. I've always liked horror, so this was a great movie that was done in a way, just as Dave said, that was not something that I'd ever seen before done, because I did not see, I guess you said Into the Void. I've never seen a first-person sort of take on it, and that's what made it kind of good to me. Plus, the subject matter, to a certain extent, was creepy if you just took away the killings, because here you have, he's talking about mannequins, and mannequins have a certain dead sort of scary quality to them.
Soulless form that's humanoid looking. That's why I think that's why like the idea of an android is like just like offensive really to think about when you look into, and not that I believe in a soul, but like the actual life, like real actual, and I guess you would consider that a soul. The mannequin doesn't have that,
Yeah,
and also you put it in there like think of the Michael Myers mask. It's almost the same type of feeling. It's just this blank, soulless stare.
Yeah, William Shatner.
Yeah, well,
No, Priceline.
But also what they
Priceline,
do, what the main character.
Priceline, if you want to advertise here, we don't really mean that.
Or
advertise.
Or Travelocity. We love gnomes.
We love you guys.
Dave has had 3 or 4 relationships with them until he was banned for life.
But what they do so great in this movie is they build a sense of empathy for the killer. They don't make him this badass wisecracking. He's a loser who's going through all these emotional traumas. He has the mother issues. His mom was a whore, which also, if you see the original, Joe Spinell plays it to a T. and it's basically the inner workings, him having the migraines, you feel it with him when he's having these migraines. He's scrubbing his hands with steel wool, just going out of his mind. You're in the mind frame because it is point of view, but you feel empathetic for the killer.
Oh yeah, You feel a certain sense of empathy. You also kind of wonder what's the underlying cause. I mean, obviously his mother passed away, and it seems like the killings, at least in this version of the movie, started with what you see happening. I mean, like it's not like there was all of the mannequins at the end were the people you saw him kill in the story.
Well, there
wasn't. Right?
He took their scalps, scalping people and then putting them on the mannequins, like literally gave them that soul that they were missing, that personality, that glimmer in their eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was holding on to them. He was keeping them, and the way he kept them was
you'd have
scalp.
to smell that too. You're like, there'd have to be a smell, right?
Well, it was great with the bug spray too, because no one ever does that in a horror movie. Like has to kill all the flies. That was a great little add-in. You're
right. I completely forgot about that. That was a nice little added touch.
The only thing I didn't like was they kept in all the scenes, because you presume that there was a certain time span. They kept all of the blood looking like it just happened. Like it was dripping blood at that moment. Like it didn't dry. It was always
red
red and wet.
Red and wet, yeah.
And that was that was that. And then as a small critique, that entire scene with the one he followed on the train, I don't know
nobody else around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where that was. I mean, and she runs into the parking garage and can't get out. That was a little. I mean, it was cool from a visual standpoint, but it wasn't. It didn't,
realistic.
Yeah, it wasn't realistic. I mean, and they didn't really do too many things in here that I'd go and say that this wasn't realistic. Except it seems like the police were as inept as anything I've ever seen, because I would think that the redhead girl with all the tattoos, who was talking on her computer to this guy in a social aspect, I think he would be primary suspect number one if they went through her computer.
Yeah, it would have been pretty quick.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean,
there was a high degree of suspension of disbelief that you had to sort of subscribe to if you were going to buy the storyline. But I was really more interested in seeing what they were doing with it, and I guess to some extent I wasn't. Whereas I would object in other movies, I still thought this was kind of a interesting, fun movie to watch.
Well, that's a great thing about horror. You have to suspend that belief, that the whole reality thing. And the scene that you're talking about in the parking garage, what I love that's a big send off to the original is the shot of him standing there with the scalp and the knife in his hand. One of my favorite box arts ever from VHS is the box art to this original movie. Just I guess because it just stuck with me. And it's just a not even that great of a drawing of the killer holding the scalp. But that stuck with me forever. And that scene is a send off to that cover art.
Yeah, and I in fact, because I was trying to, it has the writing on it, and you're right. It's a drawing. It says, "I warned you not to go out tonight, Maniac," and that's what. And it's got the picture of the guy with his jeans and a scalp, and I saw that because, and the funny thing is, it got about the same rating as this one did on IMDb. Both movies were similarly rated, which they didn't really get good ratings.
The original one, I had a horrible time to find it. I had a horrible time finding it.
6.3 or 6.1, 6.3
for an underground horror movie. That's pretty high.
Well, that's good to hear, because I thought this was.
I believe it's something that would go up over time too. It came out in 2012. We're 2013, getting close to 2014. Hey, we're just now talking about it, right? As time goes on, it's how movies happen, right? And the longer they've been on IMDb, especially if people really catch on to it, it starts becoming a cult classic. I mean, some things are just going to go, blow up overnight. But
if I went by IMDb's rating, I probably wouldn't watch half the films I have loved.
Right. It's just it's interesting to see how things are gauged. You bring up a
good point, though. For a horror movie, this was a high rating, and you kind of know the genre. So sometimes I'll see stuff on there, and I'll see the rating, and to some extent, it lives up to the rating for that genre. You said this was a high rating, and this was a pretty decent horror movie.
It's definitely above average for a small independent horror movie, because both of them are small independent. I've seen movies I loved on IMDb get 5s.
Yeah,
really.
And I think seen things on Netflix that tell me that like what I would think would be good, it gives 2.5 stars, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this. Like, so it has no clue either. But right. Netflix is weird because it doesn't tell you what the actual community rating is unless there's somewhere to change it. It tells me what it rates it for me, from my likes and dislikes and how I rated other things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I've actually liked the on Netflix here lately. They've been doing the what your friends have been watching, and that's kind of like I've actually found a couple interesting things through there than usual, which is ratings suck. That's why we don't do a rating on films. Have you guys ever noticed that? I don't know, Keith, on your show, we
rate them. Yeah.
Oh, you do. You put a rating on it. You got to put a number on it, right?
Me and Lewis will usually say, is it something that we would own? Maybe just a rental, but nothing set in stone.
Right.
There's so much stuff to see out there too. I mean, and at a certain point, I think, like I know probably. I mean, I've been doing like a podcast for the past since the start of this year, basically, and I've watched a lot more stuff than I would have ever watched, and you get a greater appreciation at some point for the breadth of what people do. And what I always, we do a lot of the modern, whatever's out now movies, but we're branching off into some other stuff. But you just get a greater appreciation of what's out there. And for the one thing that I always like is original story writing, and this was original, even though I know it was a remake, but I'll be interested to go back. I actually am going to go back and watch the original because I know, as you said, it was groundbreaking. I wonder how it holds up from 1980. So.
It's much different, isn't it, Dave?
It's not first person. Dave, you said that's
right. It's not
night.
First person. The premise is similar. The mommy issues, the serial killer, kind of falling for a girl that he possibly can never have. There is that artistic New York feel to it. So in a lot of senses, it does stay true to the movie. Now the actors are totally different. Now they're both losers, but Frank Zito in the original is more of a fat, kind of slobbish type dude who can't get girls at all, like Frodo can.
So they updated that aspect of that. There was a complaint. I read some reviews with the remake that Frodo, we're calling him Frodo,
Elijah,
is too slight a guy to really play the role.
Yeah,
I didn't necessarily feel that way because a mousy guy with a knife is just as dangerous as a big guy, right?
Oh, well, Jeffrey Dahmer, I mean, he was like 6 foot, but the guy weighed only 150 pounds.
Well, if you're eating, anorexic, cocained out young gay men in your neighborhood, you wouldn't put on much weight either. They're like rabbits.
No.
Like you could die eating. Anyways, that's a horrible joke.
And he likes Frank liked skinny chicks too, so it wasn't like he was chasing big fatties around.
Well, see, now that would be a survivalist Jeffrey Dahmer if he only went out and found like the. He's like, oh no, it wasn't a sexual thing. He was looking for the right grade of meat, and it was gonna be winter time, and it's a lot harder to judge quality with like snowsuits on.
Well, I always loved how Jeffrey Dahmer said it wasn't a racial thing. It's just that cops don't look for minorities as much.
Okay, spicy.
Oh my goodness!
All right, guys, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna somehow try to stretch this out longer. Enjoy. There'll be something amazing for halftime. You guys will love it. Stay tuned.
the night. And I said, oh no, sir, I must say you're wrong. I must disagree, oh no, sir, I must say you're wrong. Won't you listen to me? You told me I've seen it all before. I've been there. I see my hopes and dreams are lying on the ground. I see the sky just begin to fall. She said, all things pass into the night. And I said, oh no, sir, I must say you're wrong. I must disagree, oh no, sir, I must say you're wrong. Won't you listen to me?
Traumatic cinematic, bitches.
Check us out, dramaticcinematic.com. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are still here. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of whatever the hell it was I decided to shove in the middle. We're still joined by Mr. Keith Hughes and David Gibson.
Yes.
And the film we are delving deep into this evening is Maniac.
Well, during the break, me and Keith were kind of talking about how this was rated on IMDb. And, some of our followers and horror fans know that IMDb always shits on horror movies. But just to put it in perspective, this movie, by horror critics, is praised very highly. Like Bloody Disgusting, they do their little skull ratings. Out of 5, it gives it 4.5 skulls.
Well, there you go.
I hate ratings. I really do, because just like IMDb, it's not true. Just like Netflix. Netflix doesn't even give me what a community rating is, or what the cumulative rating is. It tells me what it thinks I would rate it. It's trying to tell me what I'm thinking.
Because I give ratings.
I do too. I do, especially on Netflix. I definitely do on Netflix. I don't do on IMDb. I can't remember why it is. Every time I try to sign up, it gives me some sort of curveball, and that I'm like, I don't care that much.
They know they got to factor out. So
they're like, oh no, we heard about you. You hate everything. No.
And they do a whole 10-point rating too.
Well, and so we do a 5-point rating, and I so here's what I always think about from ratings. Like everything starts off at a 3, and then you either work up or work down based on what it is. And when stuff gets up into the 4 and above category, it for me anyway is that's what I think is a movie I'd go back and watch again. I want to own all that kind of stuff. But
so a 3 would just be run of the mill. Nothing.
3 would be I watched it. It was good. It's if you drop below 3, it means that I probably am not going to go back there again. And so then it gets worse from there. And we talked. I don't know if we talked on here or not, but there's a couple movies out there that I've gone back and I've rewatched, and I thought they were horrible. And they got sub 3 ratings.
Question, Keith? Have you watched a movie that that is probably liked by others that you just loathed?
Oh, I'm going to make
just
you guys
despise
pissed when I tell you the answer to this. I know I'm going to piss you guys off. I think I saw the 80s version of... There's a couple of movies that I felt that way about. The 80s version of Evil Dead, and you guys are going to hate me for that. I didn't like it.
Which one?
I hated it.
I think we've done this before. All right, I'm having deja vu. You hated the first one, and then you didn't realize that Evil Dead 2, because you're like, the first one I hated. Why would I want to watch that? Was where he had a budget, and he actually fixed all the things that he hated about his original Evil Dead and made it what everybody actually watches. You watched the original Evil Dead to realize how much better Evil Dead 2 is.
I actually never saw Evil Dead 2, so I've only seen the first one.
So scratch. Next.
All right, I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
You got to check out.
Sir, that is a very honest thing to say,
Dead
and I
is the
commend you
epitome
for
of horror comedy.
It's seriously,
comedy.
Keith. Seriously,
Yes.
Keith, I commend you.
So that's a good context because
I commend you.
I've heard it as being iconic, and I watched it. I didn't get it, and I didn't like it. So I don't know. And then there's a new Evil Dead out. That's the remake. Did you see that?
Watch number 2.
That's very good.
Second one. Watch.
Is it also a comedy?
No, it's dark. It's dark and
it is. No, it is a comedy because when you see Bruce Campbell, Bruce Campbell's really in his zone. Like this is his second take on the whole film, so he gets to do the same film and do his parts better. They've all watched the film they made in college over and over again. I think the original Evil Dead was like a thesis or so. Anyways, we're not going to get on to that, and I'm not even sure if that's true.
You asked the question, so
the other one,
I want to like, because there's
right.
I liked it.
We can change your mind. We can definitely change your mind on that one. Anyways, what else? What else is famous or whatever that you just hate?
There was I can't think of the movie now. A famous movie that I don't like. Wow, that's a good question. I that one is one because I thought of for a horror aspect.
No, just anything that is like you just like. Oh, why do don't you guys get it? Like how ridiculous is that? What about you, Dave?
Oh, right off the top, and the sad part is I love this director, but I think Inception was I just think it was it was a muddy, dirty film. And
you're wrong. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm just gonna.
and I love Christopher Nolan. I love Christopher.
Oh, love that movie.
I think he made it so overcomplicated, and I felt like I was smoking weed the first time that I saw it.
You know what? That's what I like because I think there's a lot of people out there that just won't get that movie.
I get it.
I don't think I've seen it. If I did, I don't remember it.
It's amazing.
It didn't burn in my brain.
And like I said, I love Christopher Nolan, but I think it was overrated.
Wow. I don't, Dave, I haven't disagreed with you in many of your selections, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call you out on that one. Sorry. That's one of my top 10 favorite movies.
Really?
And I saw it on a plane the first time I saw it.
Oh, well, have you ever masturbated? Hey, have you ever masturbated on a plane underneath your blanket, pretending you were asleep when somebody was sitting next to you?
the Mile High Club.
Nobody really listens to this show, right? Like, I'm just curious. Like, no, it's like the solo Mile High Club.
I will tell you, that movie just made you think. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going with your blanket theory.
And I'm kind of like that way on The Matrix, too.
Oh, God. Oh.
I think The Matrix was really watered down.
Ooh.
Like freshman year in college psychology.
It lost me. The first one was amazing. It was awesome, mind-blowing. The second one... all right, because they're gonna make up for it in the third one, which it wasn't like the Matrix 2 wasn't like Empire Strikes Back, right? It was anyway. So we go to the third one.
I'm not saying it's a bad film, and I'm not saying Inception is a bad film. I am saying that.
You know what, Dave? I'm going to cross out 2 of the movies that you put on the list I should watch. Just. I'm going to do it randomly because you just
hey,
killed.
Careful! Don't mark off one of mine. You know what I don't like, and which is really fucked up because I go to all these horror shows and everything. You know what I really, really, really don't like, and if you are an avid listener of this, then you probably already know this. I hate Friday the 13th. Fucking hate it. I hate Jason. I like Jason X because that's because it was in space. Retarded. That was because it was in space and it was so cheesy that's what I wanted to see. It was like they were spoofing their own monster, right? I got that. The other ones, we even Twitflixed them. I don't like them.
No, I loved them as a kid, but going back and watching them as an adult, the kill scenes are amazing. Tom Savini,
yeah,
the special effects are amazing, but the story is always the same.
Yeah, everybody, and I guess, and just like you, Dave, you claim you've never seen Star Wars, correct?
Oh, never seen it. I refuse to watch it.
One of those people.
Wow.
And ladies, we've done this before.
So
I know we've done this before.
I know enough of the movie to know enough that I wouldn't like it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Jeez,
good choice. Good choice.
I'm starting to rate you down.
He's like, wow. He's like, you have really not much left on the list.
I don't really like sci-fi. And there's very few sci-fi movies I can watch.
He's like, well, you gave this a 7, and since you haven't had like the proper movies to actually like raise your rating, you're going down 2 points on what my rating would be.
So this is like when you go out with a female and you start to learn more and more things about her that you're like, I don't like meat. I've never trimmed my toenails. In my mouth.
I've never once trimmed my toenails.
I don't,
Star Wars.
I'm not even sure if I like men, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you don't care if a woman shaves her armpits or not, right?
It wasn't my childhood either. So I don't have that childhood nostalgic feel because I was born in 79. It came out in 78.
I was born in 73.
Whoa! Wow! Gosh. Sorry, you're pretty good with it. I'm impressed how well you are able to handle a computer. As foreign as it must be to you, sir.
Well, he wanted to send smoke signals at first, and we just told him that wouldn't work.
He's like, how about more? Like his Twitter comes through on a stock ticker.
Look. Go out in your cornfield and plug in your computer, pal.
Oh, hey, organic power, dude. Organic. Oh no, it's all solar panels out here. That and I've got some sort of corn concoction and moonshine. Have you ever had corn moonshine?
Ethanol. We run everything.
Yeah, you can't drink
ethanol.
it. We run the tractors on it. We take all the cooking oil in the. Anyways.
That's pretty amazing. But
I will admit a lot of people won't admit who don't like Star Wars. They're all just posers.
Indiana Jones, at least Dave. Indiana Jones.
I'm not a big. There you go. That's one I don't like that much. I don't like Indiana Jones.
Hold on. What?
Yeah.
No.
The fourth Indiana Jones might be the worst movie ever made.
Oh no! Oh yeah! Well, yeah. Oh yeah.
I've not seen it.
Oh, that's fine.
He survives an atomic bomb inside of a refrigerator.
That's really dumb. I don't even know the story. That's
cool.
dumb.
Hey, wasn't that actually part of The Hills Have Eyes? When that a scene in the remake? Didn't somebody jump in the
they were
refrigerator?
released in caves.
Well, I thought somebody.
And they were mutated. He was in a refrigerator, flew hundreds of yards, flying in a refrigerator.
I know, and it mutated him into Han Solo. It mutated him to an old Han Solo. You wouldn't know that, but.
So let me. So we're asking a question. I'm going to ask one more. I'm going to ask a question. What was your top sort of franchise series growing up as a movie? Like, what was your
Nightmare on Elm Street?
Who'd you want to be?
Freddy. I wanted to be a freaking burnt child molester that came in people's dreams and killed them. I don't know why. And you know what? And I'm dead serious. Like, Nightmare on Elm Street has been my favorite series of all, like, any long running ridiculous series. And I guess I maybe that's why I hate Friday the 13th, because I felt like it was a competitor. I was like, fuck you, Jason. Freddy would kill you if they would only make a movie with the two together. Wouldn't that be cool, guys? One day they'll do that.
No, one day they'll do that.
Yeah, one day.
One day. But
I loved Halloween. Except for I know Lewis loves Halloween 3.
Yes, the best Halloween of all of them.
The Halloween series.
Of every one of them, Halloween 3 is the finest masterpiece of Halloween.
Okay.
No, that is so
you haven't
bad.
seen it, have you, Keith?
Keith, do you know Halloween 3?
No.
I've not. I've watched. I think I've watched the remake of Halloween.
No, not 3.
Halloween 3 is, I guess the people who had the rights to Halloween smoked a lot of crack, and they decided to do a movie that didn't have Michael Myers or any of the premise at all, and just had it in Halloween and namesake.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It
has nothing to do with any of the other movies,
and I loved it. It is what the Halloween franchise should be. Michael Myers is, and that's why I hate, like, Jason and Michael Myers. They're lifeless, just like unrelenting forces. They might as well be like an impending bowel movement. You know it's coming. You can't stop it, right? You can't.
But
you can try.
Was great in the first movie, then,
but it'll catch you in the belly, right? Like it's good. It's coming, and it's unrelenting all the time. It doesn't stop.
The shark.
You can pinch the head off of it. You can cross your legs, but it's coming to get you.
Now the thing about Freddy is they made him too cartoonish, and I love a lot of probably the second one's a very homosexual film, which not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just
that was Louis' impressionable years. Relax.
Yeah. Now you got to admit, part 2 was a very gay film.
I don't remember it, so I don't know.
You know what? I mean, but I've watched them just recently. I never get that feeling at all. You know what gets me about it is that
two
Freddy
men touching each other, good stuff.
Well,
right?
here soon, guys. Like, I'm going to interview Robert Englund, Freddy himself, and the wonderment of it all is, how does a character that is such a hideous thing, like what's the most disgusting, horrible, rancid thing you could think of? Well, a child that was born from a 100 convicts raping a nun, and he becomes a child molester, and the neighborhood burns him to kill him, and then he comes and then stalks their children in their dreams like, you deserve this. How dare you? I should have stood trial.
Do you put Leatherface in the same realm as
No. Nope. Leatherface is still mortal. He's built a little differently.
Now, yeah, I would have to say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even though it's not a huge series, I would probably put that above Halloween. It's not there's not many movies. Well, lately there's more, but the first two are classics.
Well, what about you, Keith?
I have actually slipped into a bizarro fanboy horror show. It just happened. I don't know what happened.
I know. We've been hiding it for so long.
I love
our roots. It's called our roots.
Coppola.
It's called our roots.
Look, we're starting from the very first one. I have the very first movie of Kubrick on disc now, Fear and Desire, the one he tried to wipe off the face of the earth, and we're going to start with that.
One.
Well, that's not a. Well, you've you've experienced the other. Well, you were on The Shining. You'll never top that. And we already. You didn't get to do.
No, I was on the.
Oh, you were Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange.
Wasn't that awesome with Malcolm McDowell? Was that not cool?
Yeah, that was cool. Awesome panel.
Yeah, I mean, we drank tea all night long. It was amazing.
Now let me ask you guys one. My turn for a question.
All right.
If atomic bomb blows up, and you have one Blu-ray for the rest of your life, all of them are destroyed, what would it be?
Meaning of life.
Be what?
Meaning of life.
That's a good one.
The Watchmen.
The Watchmen.
I know you're gonna hate it, but I
love it. I own it. I honestly own it. I love it, but not for the rest of my life. It's not that good.
I would have to say it's probably cliche. Be Godfather 2.
Yikes!
Oh, you want to know something funny? I've never seen Godfather.
Oh,
dude, that's worse than
none of them. None of them. I don't even know a single character's name.
You guys are both homos. I gotta tell you that.
I honestly, it's worse. It's worse because
you guys are sitting and talking about movies. I never saw Star Wars. I never saw The Godfather. All right, we're talking movies.
But I refuse to watch this. I refuse to watch Star Wars. I've already been inundated with all the pop culture. Godfather is.
I will tell you.
It's one of the best films.
I'll explain to you why. The reason I haven't watched I've seen
because you don't like Italians.
No. I love. To be honest with you, I love mob stories.
They're too brown.
It's one of those things
mob
that
stories, but you did the Godfather, the original.
If I had ever seen a box set like an actual good DVD box set at a time that I was shopping for DVDs, I would have bought it. If I had seen a good Blu-ray set that was like I would have bought it. The problem is every time I've seen it on television, it's been in an edited form, and I do not want to watch it that way. I know it is brilliant. It's not because it's one of the. I just haven't got around to it. Is that not stupid? They play it every Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is.
They play it every Thanksgiving, but it's always commercialed and edited. And
that is the problem. You don't want to see.
I do not want to see it. So I have literally avoided it as. I mean, to be honest with you, I'll be honest with you. It's been since seeing Sopranos. I did watch all Sopranos. I've wanted to watch it, but I've not had that opportunity, and I haven't actually purchased it on a media format.
I don't think any movie ever built such a mythology.
I'm gonna get a
story is better.
I'm gonna take my vacation. I'm gonna watch it over and over again, and then that's all I'm gonna do on the show from now on is make Godfather references. Sonny, you gotta
Speaking of which, back to the topic at hand,
the Maniac.
Now Frank Zito out of the first Maniac movie was actually had a small role in the Godfather.
Ooh,
really?
Wow!
Yeah. Look at you tying it all together.
I know you had
planned.
No, I actually didn't plan that, but
let me segue right into the real topic.
You one of those things you ride around on that with the little handles and two wheels?
No, he only does that at Disney.
Ooh.
Those are the scooters.
Yeah, well, I go to Walmart. I'm kind of fat, so I use a little Mart cart.
I've seen you on the People of Walmart site, Dave. It's amazing. Like, actually, I thought that was going to be. I was going to send it to you, like, tell you to make it your avatar. But
was it the one when I was in a dress, or?
Yeah, it was the well. It wasn't a dress. It was the moo-moo.
Call it a dress.
It was like you cut a hole in some curtains.
Yeah.
Put it and then tied a rope around your waist. But you look good.
Hey, I'm skinnier compared to most podcasters, though.
I hate you guys so much.
In the podcast world, I'm a medium.
He's just pleasantly plump. They're just more to hold.
I'm big bone.
Yeah, this is more cushion to push, and I'd smack that ass, but I don't want to bust all them pimples open.
Well, most podcasters look like the comics book store owner in The Simpsons.
Exactly. Oh, I hear
Worst
that guy.
podcast ever. I said after listening to Keith's show.
What? What did you say?
I'm just teasing. I don't know where that came from. Dave, I told you I wasn't going to say it, Dave. Don't push me into saying things like that.
No, I couldn't hear you. Dropped out. I couldn't hear.
Oh, yeah. Of course, don't worry. You can listen to the rebroadcast.
I will.
And folks, ladies and gentlemen at home, if you like a transcript script in 5 different languages, get a hold of Keith Hughes at Facebook, B Keith Hughes. He's the only B Keith Hughes on Facebook, and he will send
Also,
you
Braille. He's really good at Braille.
Braille. Yeah. That's actually what he does for a living. Is he's a Braille accountant.
Yeah.
He does all his math on an abacus.
Well,
that way they can feel the math.
Well, gotta fill the time.
Don't worry, guys. Blind people can't listen to podcasts. They can't see the links.
Oh, good blind joke. I made some fat jokes and blind.
You know what? But I haven't made a Hebrew American joke in a very long time.
Well, you did lose. You did lose some audience over that, and
Did he really?
Possibly. I got kicked off of iTunes at one point.
Wow.
But I don't have. I have no. I don't
about my Jewish wife either. So.
I don't. Well, but I have my best friend's Jewish.
Yeah, that's what all racists say.
Well, anyways, really, yeah. Well, I can't help it. If you were surrounded by corn too, you would hate everything that didn't have kernels. Have you ever seen an ethnic kernel? No, you haven't. It's always a white guy, right?
Hey, I'm allowed to be anti-Semitic because I married a Jew.
No, it just means you're self-loathing.
Did you just say Barry? Did you?
Barry, no,
Oh,
Barry
okay.
soon. But Schindler's Fist.
Oh, I'm burning. Horrible. This went downhill quickly, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
the second half of the show didn't even include the Maniac.
Oh
No.
shit!
And
But that's
I
right. We
still
watched
had
the
a
movie.
question about the Maniac.
Well, what is
that?
it?
Well, one of my questions was, so I hate to take you back into the story, but so he wanted to get with the blonde chick, right, at the end. Now, I almost felt like he thought it was his mother to some extent, or did you not feel that?
I think that was the whole thing with the killing. I think everybody was to fill that void of his mother.
Well, because there was a whole
The void. He didn't hate women. He wanted to capture because the mannequins were very old and he was restoring them. He could fix them, but he had to I really believe their scalps, their hair, their style was their soul.
right.
That was the whole deal there. That's where
Because he even says
he
that
felt
that's
that's
the
what gave
only
them their
thing-
character.
Yeah, he said that at one point. He's like, "That's the only thing that survives on after you." And there was a whole scene where he was combing his mother's hair before she became the whore and was.
So is this the modern day Psycho? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah, it definitely has that feeling. And in the
Yes,
original,
mother.
there's a line where the girl's screaming, "Don't kill me." He's like, "I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to keep you forever." So
Well, and
They
guys,
made it more
like
blatant.
what's funny
Yeah.
is my mom took me to a lot of these movies, right? In the theater. She took me to all sorts of probably inappropriate movies for my age, but she wanted to see them. And, at the time I was, she had to take me with her. And at that time you could still smoke in the movie theater.
Right.
Regardless, I saw a lot. I didn't see this one, but I saw a lot of inappropriate movies, but I totally got the Norman Bates like totally like creepiness, except for it wasn't like he wasn't trying to become her, like he just wanted to keep them all around. They all became these different personalities and different twistedness and I don't know
yeah, I think
the
that's
inner
a
workings
good-
there
a
was
good
like
generalization.
I don't think it was like a hatred for women. It was more like he just don't leave me. Not like a Norman Bates, don't leave me.
Yeah, he was disconnected. He was, or maybe not even disconnected. He was inappropriately connected, and there was some serious, I guess, psychosis that was going on there. That he was keeping people, and they were, I think that was a little more blatant in the first movie to kind of draw that all in. That's why I really want to go back and see the first one.
But
I don't think I would have liked this movie as much if it wasn't shot the way it was. It was so creepy.
Yeah.
what?
I'm gonna give you my quick take on it. This is Taxi Driver meets Psycho.
I thought what I was wondering is the when he does the scalping thing. If I'm going to scalp somebody, like, you got to do it while they're alive. That's like the whole joy of it. And only once did he do that. At least, can you think of any other times that he did that? Like, I think that's just the one time. Like, they should have. It wasn't necessarily about the kill. It was he just like, hey, I really need your your soul cap.
Well, I guess my first thought is, I'm glad that you've thought about what makes it okay for you.
Well, I mean, like, if you're going to do it, you might as well get the most bang for the buck. So you scalp him, and then you're like, wow, you're way too ugly. I have to kill you now because it's just the right thing to do.
Well, coming from,
boobs, I can't even look at your
killer buff.
I couldn't even look at her boobs when she's screaming and her head was scalped.
Well, I'm a serial killer buff, and a lot of them keep trophies because of that same type of mentality of I want to kind of keep that person.
So
what do you collect?
Are you like a watcher, like Highlander style? Like, are you like Whistler, where you're following around like a different serial killer that you know is alive and you're helping him and like warning them and shit?
I thought it would be pretty fucking awesome.
That's what they like.
Actually,
there can be only one. And
my dream as a kid was to journalism and interview serial killers. Was like I was like 12. That's something I want to do.
Well, okay, you're on a show with me.
I'm going to do an aside. I want to give you an aside.
When they catch me finally, you will be like, holy shit, I recorded X amount of episodes with that dude. Fuck yeah.
So, no, I want to ask you. So, did you see Seven Psychopaths?
Seven Psychopaths.
I honestly
I don't think so.
I'll be honest with you, Keith. I rented it from the Redbox. I put it in, played it, and like totally didn't pay attention to one fucking moment of it.
It was good. I liked it.
It probably was. I say that as
it was QT-esque, Quentin Tarantino-esque when he was good, or in his element where he was good. It was sort of.
Have you seen? Here's
What?
something to add to your list, Keith. Have you seen 13 Assassins?
No, I've not seen 13
From
Assassins.
Since we're
Takanashi
talking about
Miike.
numbering movies, that's a good segue.
Well, Seven
Have you ever
Psychopaths,
seen
13
1001 Maniacs?
Yeah.
Is that any good?
Actually, it is pretty good. It's actually a remake.
No.
remake.
He has to wait for a while for that. No, it's not.
Why?
It's a remake of like 9 things. Anyways, the
No, it's actually a remake. I think it's a Roger Corman film.
10,000. Oh, my bad. 10,000. No, 10,000 Maniacs is a band with
It's 1001 Maniacs. I said.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, Robert Englund was in the first one of those. There's 2,000 Maniacs and 2001 Maniacs or something ridiculous.
It's something.
Or it's like 239 Maniacs, and then the second one is like
And one not such a maniac.
like 3 knots of Maniacs at sea or whatever. Yeah.
And it doesn't even say that it's really a remake, but I think is it a Corman film?
Oh, there's
It's
like
a
a million
remake.
of them.
It's a remake. No, I'm sorry. Herschel Gordon Lewis. It's like in the 60s.
Huh.
Which is that's actually a really good
Anyways.
movie too.
I think
I
this,
wrote it down. I'm up to 7 movies I've written down.
I think we've beaten this. Well, real quick before we tune out, what are the 7 movies you've written down tonight, Keith? How have you been cinematically schooled?
No, I wrote
No,
down Enter the Void, The Divide, Martyrs, The Raid Redemption, Halloween 3, which I had a differing opinion that went on this movie, 13 Assassins, and 1001 Maniacs. So,
Although, hey, if you get them on 13 Assassins, we have to get them get Keith into Miyake films.
I know, but 13 Assassins is so much different. I think, what is it? Seven Samurai. This is a Mike Wycliffe. He knows this, and like I if I could text quick enough, I would do it. This is I think it was Seven Samurai, like the old like 40s or 50s or 60s film. Like it's one of those Criterion Collection kind of things. Anyways, it like 13 Assassins is pretty much a remake of it.
And the last 30 minutes.
But 13 is
just
the last like 50 minutes was just like,
yeah, it starts
whoa.
off pretty slow, but it becomes insane.
Keith, you'll take like a picture or a little video of you bowing to us, like a twine. You will do a Vine, one of those little 6-second like yes, like, oh, those are like, I can't believe I've existed this long without seeing these 7 movies.
You might have to,
you know, right after you guys watch
your mind will
Wars
explode.
and Godfather 2, we can all like do it together. And
oh, you know what? I'm gonna go out and get it tomorrow. I'll like tomorrow night. I'm gonna be doing Godfather references on Facebook too, where you're gonna vomit.
Should I start off on episode 1?
Oh boy, you're really putting me on the spot there with this stuff now.
Oh, of what?
I'm thinking about the canon.
Episode what?
It's
Of
not
Star Wars? Don't do it.
Episode 1.
Those don't exist.
That we also did Star Trek, the Star Trek movie, which is Abrams, and man, I'm scared about the future of Star Wars. As shaky as it was with Lucas, it's going to be much shakier with Abrams, I think. So
really, he did Lost. He lied to everyone. He freaked out. J.J. Abrams freaked out when everyone figured out that the whole storyline to Lost, the whole trick ending, was purgatory. And he's like, it's not purgatory.
I'm not as deep as everybody.
And he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
They just signed us for 6 more seasons, and I'm not giving that money up. I'll make up anything. I don't know. Maybe I should have, to be honest with you, maybe I should honestly have more respect for him to just fucking do it on the fly. I honestly, for the shit we do, maybe we should have a little bit more. I guess it pissed me off originally, but then maybe props to him.
I just think what he
for
did
for
was
faking it,
sloppy,
for calling it in sloppy. Yeah. Well, sloppy would be inexperienced. But
they should have brought in Michael Bay.
Lost got so big. Lost was like a viral TV show in season 3.
Yeah, there was a podcast on just what just happened. I mean, it was.
There is with Walking Dead and shit too. That's you know what somebody needs to make. They need to make a show that is full of pop culture and manly stuff and people that are in their 30s ish, late 20s,
Asshole.
Early 40s, the Gen X generation. Boy, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That'd be an interesting show to listen to.
I'd like to
maybe
see those,
live too, because nothing is better than knowing if somebody farts on air, they can't really deny it.
I keep it mic'd, so you're gonna know.
All right, guys. I would say this is we've beaten this horse to a bloody pulp.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, Maniac, go watch it.
Go buy it. This is a movie absolutely worth owning. And the original too. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to go on Amazon and actually have it shipped. I really wanted to pick it up in a store, but apparently I'm not cool enough to have any stores around me that have like cinema.
Pony Express delivering.
I do, and I like having stuff delivered, but I read anyways.
Yeah, well,
not this film. I'm talking about the original
of them.
Exactly, the original.
I guess you guys would agree that they should definitely check this one out.
Absolutely. This was a great choice. I've done a couple with you guys lately, Lords of Salem and the Maniac. I think the Maniac was much better because it was super creepy and not weird. Lords of Salem was just kind of weird at the end anyway. And I'm enjoying this. I'm digging it. I like the horror genre, and this is you know, it's good to see some good stuff that's in the genre. And one of the things I just want to say this, we talked about this the other night on our little, you know, test thing that we did for another venture. Horror movies do really lend themselves to being great based upon the story writing, and there are elements in what we've seen that really typify that in what we've seen. Even with Lords of Salem, as weird as it got towards the end, there was some great writing in it. There was glimpses of being great. This movie, I think, was great because just the way it was shot, just the way it was done, it was
different than everything else.
Gave you creepy. Yeah.
Not a shaky cam, not a paranormal activity or any of those kind of found footage bullshit things. It was
do
actually.
Do you think it's going to have an impact, kind of like how Blair Witch? You think we're going to start seeing a whole genre pop up of these type of movies?
I don't. To be honest with you, I haven't.
Because that's what made it great.
Well, I don't know. I actually kind of want to do one, and to do it this well, not
it works in the porn industry.
It does, and but they show it, but it doesn't stay in that. Like when they actually showed him, that's great. So my idea is I'm going to do a Kickstarter, and I am going to get Christopher Walken. I'm going to find out what it would cost to hire him at rate for 2 days, right? 2 days shooting. And whatever his lodging and flight and all that would be, whatever, and beg him, like literally offer to like
fillet him,
suck his, poison out of his leg if he got bit by a spider or something,
right.
And
third leg,
got it. Nipple or what have you, and it would be that's what I would do. I would write the whole movie around a first person thing. And then once he was like, we get all the and that's where you have to have everything planned out so well. After we got we would know what shots we had to get, and a billion of them. We could have him actually call in and do the voice thing later, through an actual like good phone line, whatever it would be that we would that would be much cheaper than what his day rate would be, because voiceovers are way cheaper, and that's usually you can get that in the contract, right? Mm-hmm. So we get $100,000, and we could probably get him for 2 days. For like 50, maybe. I don't know what is day rate for like the bare minimum that some like if you're part of the union you have to be paid that X amount.
We just give him a percentage.
Oh no, like he's like, well, you might as well just fucking spit on my face. Anyways, that's just my thought. And that's kind of what this was. Was it not? Was this not kind of like one of those things where they had him for 2 days? And they wrote the movie around it, and it worked awesome.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No, that's a good idea. Yeah, you're right.
I wonder if we actually if I got to meet Elijah Wood and I interviewed him and be like, "Did you have any fucking idea what you were getting into?" He's like, "Well, you shoot these movies and like you really aren't sure what you're doing. Like you just have like I'm doing 9 scenes and I get these parts and I do it, and that was kind of weird."
Yeah, you're right.
It's all out of sequence. These actors don't technically know what they're getting into totally, because even if they get a script, it's not complete at that time. Their part might not change, but the ending absolutely could.
Right.
They don't,
and you don't really see much of him until the ending. It kind of goes
in the mirrors and stuff, and he doesn't really narrate it either, does he? Much,
Yeah, it's just dialogue.
Yeah. So whatever narration is, just voiceover. That's cheap. You can call that. You literally can call that in, just like we're doing now. So food
I'm
for
not
thought,
really
guys.
Here.
Guys, exactly. Well, no. Actually, no. Keith. He flies in every week. Every time he comes in, it costs a fortune, and he always wants a back rub. It's so weird. I don't want to. It's hairy. Do you realize you got a ginger back? You got ginger hair back hair. It's really weird.
I just like the beard across my back. That's good.
Yeah, it's so weird. My lips are tingling.
It always goes.
When you say that, my lips are tingling. Stop. Wow. All right. we're getting worse. Exactly. Like our shelf life has expired, folks. We are out of here. Keith, what's your links? Throw them out there fast.
KeithAndrew.com. Movie, Cigar, and a Brew on Facebook.
I don't even understand that. Anyways, folks, you can find us at traumaticcinematic.com. Also, at TC Podcast Crew on Twitter. Don't forget about Facebook, that thing that you wish your mom hadn't followed you on. We are facebook.com/traumaticcinematic. Thanks for coming out. I'm on the internet.